Okay, here we go again. Really quickly, we are going to cover some unit rate problems that involve fractions. We've been doing pretty good with the double tax and double discounts. I'm very happy. I think we scored about an 89% on our exit tickets. Today we didn't do so well with the unit rate problems with the fractions, but that's probably because of the shortage of exit tickets, and some of them came out without the numbers on it, and you guys were rushing. So tonight I just want you to practice these two problems. You know how we do. I'm going to do the example, and then you do yours yourself. So let's jump right into it. All right. So we have a sneaker company produces 13 pairs of sneakers in 2 2/3 hours. So what is this company's unit rate of production? Okay, the first thing I see is we have 13 pairs of sneakers and we have time in 2 2/3 hours. So I know my two units are pairs of sneakers and time is hours. So what is this company's unit rate of production? The key thing that should jump out to you is unit rate right here. And we should know that unit rate means per one. And when we're talking about one, we know we're talking about our time. All right, so the time should equal one, whatever amount of time or whatever unit of time we're dealing with. So the problem tells you that 13 pairs of sneakers, so I'll put 13S for sneakers, can be made in 2/3 hours. Now, we don't work with mixed numbers, so we have to change this to an improper fraction. So how do we do that? 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8. And then we use the same denominator. So we have 8/3. Once again, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 2 is 8 over 3, 8/3. So we know 8/3 of an hour equals 2. But before we go on, let's read this. All we did was take what the problem gave us. The sneaker company produces 13 sneakers in 8/3 hours, which is the same as 2 2/3. All right. So we want to know the unit rate. That's 1. So we want to know how many pair of sneakers they make in 1 hour. So in 1 hour, they make X amount of sneakers. We have to find this out. How do we know the 1 goes on bottom? Because we have our hours here on bottom. We got to keep hours with hours and sneakers with sneakers. All right? So that's very important. The time gets the 1. We want to know how much they can make, how many sneakers they can make in 1 hour. And we got to keep the units with each other. That's why I always say include your units. So what do we do now? Cross multiply. 8/3 times X is 8/3 X. And now we have 13 times 1 is equal to 13. Now, a lot of children, you're messing up with this step right here, but we do the same thing that we did with the discount problems. I'm going to divide by 8/3 to get rid of that. So what is a fraction? Don't get nervous, it's the same thing. These two are gone. Now I have X all by itself. Now, I'm not going to put it under because that's going to look weird. So I divide by 8/3 here, and now 13 divided by 8/3 here, 8/3. So now we have a whole number divided by a fraction. Looks kind of weird, but we can make any number, any whole number a fraction by putting it over 1. So now I just have a fraction divided by a fraction. We should know our rule. So now don't go over here. Don't go over here. Don't do any work over here. All right? What you do is just take it where it is and bring it right down. We know we're going to keep this right here. So that's 13 over 1. We're going to change the division sign to a multiplication sign. Oops, sorry. And we're going to flip this one down here. So instead of 8/3, we take the reciprocal, which is 3/8. Now we have a basic fraction multiplication problem. 13 times 3 is equal to 39. 1 times 8 is equal to 8. Now we have an improper fraction. This is our answer. So 39 over 8. So that's what X equals. So X, excuse my handwriting, is equal to 39 over 8. So what does that mean? Let me go back to my proportion. So that means in 1 hour, the company can produce 39 over 8 pair of sneakers. What does that mean? You'll never see this right here. You have to go from here to a mixed number or a decimal. I would probably prefer the mixed number, but make sure you know how to do both. So how do I do that? Okay, so let me go over here. This here is a division problem. We should already know how to change these all fractions into a division problem. So this is just 8 on the outside, 39 on the inside. 8 goes into 39. How many times? You should know this off the top of your head. 4 times. I get 32. Subtract, I get 7. And now for my mixed number, I take my remainder, which is 7, that comes my numerator, and then my divisor becomes my denominator. And that's your answer. So in 2/3, 2 2/3 of an hour, which is converted to 8/3, the company makes 13 pair of sneakers. In 1 hour, the company makes 4 7/8 pair of sneakers. So they make 4 pair, and they almost got another pair made, but they make 4 7/8 pair of sneakers. And that's how you do the problem. All right, so like I said, follow my steps and pay close attention to this step here, right here, when you do this work here, because a lot of you are taking the fractions out of order. You're doing it, you're getting here and you're doing the work over here. No, use these arrows and bring it right down, and you will never get one of these wrong. All right, so now I'm going to erase this here, and now it's your turn. All right, so Darnell can run 12.5 meters in 12 seconds. What is her, or his, it should be, oops, what is his, sorry about that, average rate of speed? Do not get confused with average rate of speed. It's just another way of saying unit rate, so don't get confused. All right, see you guys tomorrow. Get it done.